Yeah, I can try to get that handled for you. Again, it's only my second day, so if you can give me a second. How I'm supposed to do this? How the hell are we supposed to do this by 5 o'clock?
I have no clue.
Is that possible? Hey, do you have the password to... How'd you finish all your work already?
He's not tapped in. How'd you get that done so quick?
They think they're gonna be able to budget that?
It's money. That's money right there, you understand? You guys finished your work 6 hours early?
He's not tapped in.
The views expressed by guests are their own, and their appearance on the program does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity they represent. Views and opinions expressed by Hotep Jesus are those of Hotep Jesus's and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Hotep Nation or any of its officials. If you have any questions about this disclaimer, please contact our Office of General Counsel via the sheet of account. And Hotep and them.
Now all of a sudden, everybody want to play cowboy? Okay. The Grift Report starts right now.
2, 1, boom. Hotep Jesus.
Of all the Jesuses I know, he's the Hotepiest. Social scientist and YouTube host, Hotep Jesus.
How the fuck do you get a name like Hotep Jesus?
The one and only Hotep Jesus.
Ryan Sharp, better known to the world as Hotep Jesus.
Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Somebody said, what do you think you are, some kind of Hotep Jesus?
Ooh,
and
that's
I was
good.
Just like, ooh, that's sexy. Yes, I do think I'm Hotep Jesus.
Had to chew that last bit of food there. I'm having me a little salad. Greetings to the Hoteps. Welcome to the Grift Report, live Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. I'm your host, the Grift God.
Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Oh, this a real Hotep brother.
Hotep to the chat. Hotep to the Hotepistanis.
Hotep.
Don Day asked, he said, when are you going to be on Fox again? The last time I was on Fox, I was wearing a Men of Order hoodie. And my theory is that, hold on, I'm getting a text message here. I just want to make sure. Sometimes people text me because there's something wrong with the stream. I just want to make sure there's nothing wrong here. Okay, good. All right. My theory is that Fox has not had me back yet. I hate when my chair is this low. Feels funny when my chair is low. I might have to I should just adjust the screen. That's probably what I should do. Let's do this. Oh, summer B. Stop it. Adjust the camera down. My theory is that I have not been on Fox News because I was beginning to acquire too much power. I believe that the oligarch class has been paying attention to the Hoteps. When I was wearing a tuxedo, they were like, good, he's being a good, clean Negro. But the last time I went up there, I was very comfortable. I had the Men of Order hoodie, and I think driving traffic to Men of Order goes against the establishment's plans, and they have not had me back yet. So I think this is a cool-off period. They're basically saying, yo, we need to cool this guy off. He's getting too much power too fast. So, hopefully you'll see me on Fox in the near future. If not, no love lost. I really don't care. I was speaking with Goldstein about this the other day. We're not going to sit up here and try to placate to the interests of any media outlet or any media company for the sake of receiving a check or getting their cosign. We don't have to do that. We have the Grift Report. We have Hotep Nation. We have Men of Order. We're building our own right here. Hotepistan is live and it's real and it's happening right now. So we don't need them. It's fun when we have them, but we don't have to be worried or concerned with them. Moving right along. I don't know the name of the song I played yesterday. Maybe somebody can help you. People doing a pump and dump on the Rumble stock, really? I'm just having a salad. Leah, what up? Shout out to Leah, my de facto manager. Direct all questions and bookings to her, please. Steph Colonel said, it's the Grub Report. Word. It's the Grub Report. Do I have that? Well, I can't play the video because, YouTube puts limits on it. Where's my Rumblers at? Shout out to my Rumblers rumbling. Beanie Man and the Quartering are saying Civil War kicking off this week. Well, Beanie Man and the Quartering have a very specific job to do, right? And their job is to get clicks, right? And their job is to keep people emotionally invested in whatever the action movement, because you have the reactionary movement and you have the action movement, whatever the action movement says. So they want to keep you emotionally invested. My job is to remove your emotions from these things and keep your logic in. We're going to dive into the border situation in a moment here. But first, let me go ahead and I want to start off with yesterday. Some of the remnants of yesterday are a bit frightening. It's a bit frightening, okay? Even for me. So let's go ahead and pull this up on the screen. This is a tweet I posted yesterday, and I'm going to show you exactly why I'm afraid. So, you know, yesterday was about Charlie Kirk and him being afraid of black pilots and all of that. And then I had this tweet or post on X, and it says here, retweet to scare a conservative grifter. Now, first things first, a lot of people who consider them conservatives were triggered by this. But as you can see here, there was a modifier to the term conservative, which is the modifier of grifter. Shout out to the Grifties. Go get your tickets to the Grifties right now so you can meet me and others in person and enjoy our comedy special. Anyway, there's a modifier on conservative, and that modifier is grifter. So if you considered yourself a grifter or you took the bait, you responded to this, right? You're somewhere in here like, how dare you talk about conservatives? And these people just have a failure of comprehension, or they're just feds and bots. I would say at least 50% are feds and bots. Okay, with that being said, let's look at the engagement on this. Now, everybody knows I don't do big numbers on Twitter because I don't make content for the common mind. When I post, I like to tweet to intellectual thought people, which is the minority. That's who I want as my audience. So you see some people with big numbers, but those are big numbers of small brain people. I have a different philosophy where I want smaller numbers of big brain people, not small brain people. They want big numbers of small brain people. I want big numbers of big brain people. Too bad there's not enough big brain people, so therefore you don't get big brain numbers. However, this tweet, I did trigger something. As you see here, 3.1 million views on this tweet. Go on to show that there are over 5,000 reposts and 13,000 likes on this. Now, you might be asking yourself, Hotep Jesus, why are you afraid? And this goes back to one of my previous theories. Now, people who have been paying attention, for a chance to win a membership to menoforder.com, any product of your choice, 1 month supply of either Flow or Apex. Can you tell me what is the recipe for the great grifting? Can anybody tell me? It comes in 2 parts. What are the 2 parts do you need to cook up the great grifting? What do we need? Oh yeah, it's Hotep Thursday. You know we'll be back tonight. Hotep. You know that. Lay it down like Elijah Muhammad, HJ. Tell us about the NSO tech and the cartels. Thank you, Carmen, for posting the link to the Grifty. Can anybody tell me the 2 things you need for the great grifting? Strong Dad says race and bitching. Very close. Jerome, you have won. Jerome beat everybody. Tari said black and white. I think Tari was probably first. Tari, I'm gonna give it to both. I'm gonna do both. I'm gonna give one to Jerome, one to Tari. Contact me to get your 1 month supply of Flow or Apex. Tell me what you want, and we'll get that out to you shortly. Black and white. Black and white is what you need to do these numbers, right? I'm not gonna say need, but can do these numbers. You want to do these numbers, you want 3.1 million. You need 1 part black and you need 1 part white. And this frightened me. I said, oh shit, I tapped into the great grifting by accident. I had all these black people following me. I lost like 100 followers. I think like most of my guests were white or something like that. And they took offense to this because they didn't realize I was talking about the grifters and not conservatives. Because if you're a conservative, you're not triggered by this photo. If you're a conservative grifter, you are, hence the modifier. I'm very specific when I use language. I'm very intelligent when I use language because I know what it's like to have your message misconstrued. So I always like to have the alibi of, well, there's a modifier on that tweet and it's called conservative. Now, I was frightened because I said, I never do these type of numbers. I never create content for the hoi polloi. What happened? And I realized I tapped into the great grifting. And this is frightening for me because that means the algorithm, in conjunction with the great grifting, as we already know, is a real thing. Now, I want to stay away from this. I do not want millions of views on my tweet because that means I've done something wrong. This is a huge mistake for me because I've tapped into the great grifting. I do not want to be a race hustler. So I apologize to anybody who read this tweet and took this as race hustling. That's not what this is. This was a specific attack at Con Inc., X division or any other division of Conservative Inc. But I just wanted to show you what happens when you divide people on social media. You get huge numbers. Stay away from the great grifting. The proof is in the numbers. Okay, now on to bigger and badder things. We got a lot of tweets to pull up. But first thing I want to do is I want to play this video, and I'm only playing this video first because, well, I want to enjoy my salad. So I'm going to play this video while I try to scarf down my salad. In 1 minute and 30 seconds, we are now going to talk about the Texas standoff. Let's go to the tape.
Familiar with Article 4, Section 4 of our Constitution, often called the Invasion Clause? Anybody? Yes. I'm going to read it real quick. The United States shall guarantee to every state in the Union a Republican form of government and shall protect each of them against invasion. Now, there's arguments right now about whether or not this is an invasion, but it's tough to argue when you have the equivalent of a combat division size of illegals coming across our southern border. For those of you that don't know, that's 10,000 individuals every single day in invasion. And we've talked about what comes with those individuals from crime, you know, the economic burdens on our citizens, the families being destroyed of fentanyl. You guys are all familiar with that. You guys see them every single day in your own states. Is that correct?
Yes.
Thank you. Are you guys aware of the job title of Alejandro Mayorkas, Mr. Knudsen?
His specific job title is Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security.
Secretary of Homeland Security. Now, I'm no constitutional scholar, Mr. Drummond, but just from that job title alone, would you assess that maybe his job might be to secure and protect the homeland?
He has the duty to control and guard our homeland.
Mr. Bailey, is Secretary Mayorkas doing that?
He has abdicated his official legal responsibilities and his moral and ethical responsibilities to this nation.
Mr. Knudsen, is he doing that?
He absolutely is not. He is derelict in many of those duties.
All right, let's break this down. I don't have a napkin. It's all good. Real nigga shit. I'll just wipe my nose with my hand and then wipe it on the inside of my shirt. All right. I don't know why my nose runs when I eat. All right, let's go. So, a couple of things we got to break down in this. How should we do this? I think we should go to the dictionary first, right? Or should we? What's the best way to go about this? Actually, you know what? I think the best way to go about this is to start off with the venom. Let's go to the venom, right? So, this all started with a controversial tweet of mine this morning. Always starts off with that, right? Let's go here. So we get this post. I'm trying to update my language to post instead of tweet and X instead of Twitter, so bear with me. So Jake Shields, he says, do you support Texas' right to defend its border or Biden's ability to leave it open? So really hard question to answer, which you'll see today why. This is such a hard answer for somebody who's objective. For somebody who's subjective, you know, you just want to use your brain, you use your emotions, right? So I like to use my brain, not my emotions. So I said here, if you're one of those, the Constitution is the greatest document ever written, whatever that means. If you're one of those guys, then the federal government has the sole responsibility for border security, okay? If you don't like that, then you're asking to amend the Constitution. Which way, Western man? Now, in the thread, you'll see a lot of pushback here, you know, like this guy. I need to read more, right? So obviously now I guess I can't read, right? So I got a lot of pushback when I said this. The issue is they just didn't like the way I worded this. They know I'm correct, but they don't like the way I worded this. And the fact of the matter is they all agree with me that they are mad that the federal government has not protected the border. If the government had been securing the border, nobody would be asking about the Constitution because they would have been doing their job by securing the border. Now, we spoke to somebody who works at the border yesterday. We had him call in. If you didn't hear that, go to the call-in section of yesterday's stream, and it'll tell you where they are is federal border. It's not Texas border. It's the federal border. It's the United States government's border, right? So this is what started all the venom, right? Now, what this comes back to, let's see if we can find one of the arguments here that we can cherry pick. Let's cherry pick one. Actually, no, let's not cherry pick one because everybody pretty much the same thing, said the same thing. They quoted the Constitution, right? And I have no problem with that because that's what we're talking about. We're talking about the United States Constitution. Is the stream still up? Is everything working? Is everybody good? Everybody having a good time? Okay. I just want to make sure the stream is up and working. And all right. Because the constitution.gov is not working right now. Hold on. All right. Here we go. All right. Let's fix this on your screen. And then we will be able to proceed. So what are we looking at here? We're looking at what is called Article 1, Section 8, Clause 3. Okay? Now, Article 1, Section 8, Clause 3, what does it state? No state shall, without the consent of Congress, lay any duty of tonnage, keep troops, or ships of war in time of peace, enter into any agreement or compact with any state or foreign power, or engage in war unless actually invaded or in such imminent dangers as will not admit delay. Okay, so key things right here is the term invasion. This is the term that everybody throws around. We are being invaded. We are being invaded. And then they say here, imminent danger. We're not going to touch imminent danger unless we have time. But again, the reason why I'm highlighting these is because these things, where we stand today as a nation, are subjective, right? So what everybody says is we're dealing with an invasion at the border. Now, this invasion at the border is something that was created out of thin air by some individual. I don't know if it's Trump, the media, right-wing pundit, think tanks. I don't know. But somebody decided to say that there is an invasion at the border. And I may or may not have repeated that. But that's what I'm going to look at today is the invasion. Now, the first question I have to ask you in regard to the invasion is, at the time that the Constitution was written, we always have to do this with the Constitution. At the time the Constitution was written, Do you think that the founding fathers, the writers of this document, were talking about illegal immigrants? I would have to answer no. That's not what they were talking about. What they were concerned with was, as it says right here, foreign powers and war, right? So this is saying, like, if the United States government, if the government of Mexico or the government of Argentina were to try and invade Texas, then Texas has a right to secure its border, okay? Now, we had to get really pedantic because that's just how people are on X. So we had to look up the term invasion. What does invasion mean? So it was crazy because I'm like, all right, I'm going to look at multiple dictionaries. So let's go to our overlords over at Google. And it says here, according to Google, first definition. Usually you want to go off the first definition. The other definitions are pertinent, but in this case, we're going to go off the first definition. An invasion, an instance of invading a country or region with what? An armed force. An armed force, okay? Now, you can say that some of the illegals are coming over armed, but for the most part, they are unarmed. Okay, this is not an army or anything of that nature. So let's stop. Actually, no, let's finish and then go back to the video. Then somebody was like, it was funny because the argument I was having was very pedantic, right? And so I gave him the definition of invasion. Now here, this is Webster's dictionary. Webster's dictionary said the definition of invasion is an act of invading. And it says here, especially an incursion of an army for conquest or plunder. So again, this is talking about some outside force coming in for conquest or plunder. Now, a lot of you are going to go, well, they are conquering us sort of and plundering us sort of. And I'm like, yeah, you're right, but let's be specific. So then somebody was like, well, then you have to look up what invade means because it's the root word of invasion. Okay, fine, let's do that. So I go and I look up invade, and it says right here, to enter for conquest or plunder. Now, you might say, well, they're plundering us through taxes, et cetera, but we all know this means in a very direct way. You know, you can say that they're conquering America in an indirect way, but we all know, if we're going to be honest, that we're talking about conquest and plunder in a very direct way, meaning we are going to cross your border with weapons, lay siege, and take what we want, okay? That's what the founding fathers meant, in my interpretation, when they said that. Now, let's go back to the video, and let's play it from the top, and I'm going to show you what he says and how it kind of falls under something called interpretation. Now, let's play the tape. Hold on.
Familiar with Article 4, Section 4 of our Constitution, often called the Invasion Clause? Anybody?
Yes.
I'm going to read it real quick. The United States shall guarantee...
So we got to stop right there. You got to stop right there. So these guys are intelligent. At least I think they are. And they like to play word games. So what he says here is, he refers to the article that we just covered, a section in the Constitution, and he says it's often called the Invasion Clause. Okay? Now, that's what y'all might call it, but that's not what it's called in the Constitution. So that's the first little word play trick he likes to play right there. So they want to insert this concept of invasion, which is a failed tactic. Let's continue.
Constitution, often called the Invasion Clause. Anybody?
Yes.
I'm going to read it real quick. The United States shall guarantee to every state in the Union a Republican form of government and shall protect each of them against invasion. Now, there's arguments right now about whether or not this is an invasion, but...
So right there, he said there are arguments about whether or not this is an invasion. Now, look at how he tries to describe what an invasion is. Because he knows the definition of invasion is talking about a walking, standing army of some sort or like.
It's tough to argue when you have the equivalent of a combat division size of...
So what he does is he says here the equivalent of a combat division size of illegals. Basically, what he does is he draws an unfair correlation. Anybody with a modicum of intelligence can tell this is attorney word games. Okay, for the purposes of persuasion. The sad part is the only thing they're persuading is the reactionary movement and not the people that actually make decisions of this country. Now, or they're even if the people of this country are not going to be persuaded, they must be made to look like dissidents or insurgents or what do you call it when you turn your back on your country? I'm drawing a blank here. Treasonous. That's the word I'm looking for. They must be made to look treasonous. And this line of approach right here does not bode well for making these people look like treason. So it says the equivalent of a combat division size of illegals. So basically what he's trying to do is, in your mind, he's trying to equate the illegals to a combat division, which lets you know that he knows that the founding fathers were talking about armies. So he knows it. I know it. The founding fathers knew it. And the people listening to me now know it. Let's continue.
Illegals coming across our southern border. For those of you that don't know, that's 10,000 individuals every single day in invasion. And we've talked about.
Now, in persuasion, he fails here because what he does is he gives a number. He says 10,000. 10,000. When really what he needs to do is he needs to, and this is a sales tactic, this is a persuasion tactic. Scott Adams knows all about this stuff. But what you need to do is you need to find something that people can create a picture of in their mind of what 10,000 people looks like. So you can say a small stadium, right? And then people go, oh, I can kind of vision a small stadium or something to that effect, right? And you say there's like a small stadium size of people, population of people. The population of a city is coming over every single day, right? Something to that effect to put pictures in your head. Okay, now let's put that aside for just a moment and move on to my next point of contention. We're always going to come back to this. This is Lysander Spooner's quote, and he says here, but whether the Constitution really be one thing or another, this much is certain, that has either authorized such a government as we have or has been powerless to prevent it. In either case, it is unfit to exist. So again, what this comes back to is interpretation. And we know this from Article 1, Section 8, which under Article 1, Section 8 was really reinforced by Alexander Hamilton to make an argument for a central bank. On the other side of the argument, you got Jefferson, and Jefferson's like, no, I interpret it to mean this. Either way, there was a central bank created based upon the interpretation of the words on that piece of paper. And that's why I say the words on that piece of paper called the Constitution is only as good as, number one, the lobbying power of the people who are on either side of the argument. Obviously, the lobbying power was much stronger on Hamilton's side, and your ability to articulate your argument. It has nothing to do with the words on that paper, okay? Has everything to do with who got the better attorneys? Who got the better tunnel diggers?
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
You know, the right got to get their best tunnel diggers. The left got to get their best tunnel diggers and have them fight it out in the courts. And may the best tunnel digger win. Okay? So, with that being said, let's go to, it's quite funny because this is like one of the first times I want to say that the entire Grift Report has been outlined by my tweets. I can actually just go to my timeline and run through my line of thinking prior to the show, right? So let's go ahead and do that. And then we'll get into some of the conspiratorial stuff later. All right, let's pull this one up first. So, what do we have here? So, this was Chingo Bling. Shout out to Chingo Bling. Good guy. Stand-up comedian. Go get your tickets at chingobling.com for his comedy tour. And he says, what if it's an invasion? Question mark. Court ruled so. Now they have to come down and enforce. And I said, if the federal government deems it an quote-unquote invasion, then Texas has every quote-unquote right to defend its border. But the argument begins with, what is an invasion? My interpretation is that the article in the Constitution is about international relations and war and not migrants. Then you get people in the thing who get really pedantic and they go, well, you mean illegal migrants? And it's just like, duh, but wouldn't that fall under the umbrella of migrants? Anyway, and the only reason why I put migrants instead of illegal migrants is because I went over the 280 character limit. Otherwise, I would have specified illegal migrants, knowing how pedantic people can be online. So I had a guy here. He says it's literally in his letter. And I said, this is a state letter. My statement said federal. Here's the back and forth with me and the guy going, talking about the definition of invasion. Kind of weird. So let's go to the next. Let's go to the next tweet. Hold on. Whoops. Didn't mean. Wait, no, it's right here. Okay. So let's go here. Let's pull this up so I can give you my take on all of this. So I said the correct take on, shout out to Scott Adams for retweeting this. He says the correct take on the Texas standoff is the Biden administration has failed to protect U.S. citizens and Biden should abdicate or be removed through impeachment. Amending the Constitution is a dangerous game. Elect a president who will provide border security, a la Trump. Now, right here, I said amending the Constitution is a dangerous game. And a lot of people didn't get what I meant by this. So let's go ahead and begin explaining. So why did I say amending the Constitution? Because right now, what people want to do is amend the Constitution. They don't know they're saying that, but that's what they're saying. Basically, what they're saying is Texas should be in charge of a federal border. They're basically saying that the United States government should not protect the border. That's just how it's going to be looked at in the court of law. This is black and white, okay? It's just black and white. Supreme Court, I think they made the right decision. When they did the 5-4 thing, ruling, I think they made the right decision. You do not want to go down the road of obliterating the Constitution if you believe in said Constitution. Let me try to be more clear because I don't think I'm clear enough yet. So, if you say, well, all right, so we went down the invasion road, right? I think I explained that well. But really what is happening here is the reactionary movement is saying that Texas should secure the border and that SCOTUS made the wrong decision. Okay. If SCOTUS made the decision that Texas should secure the border, what does that mean as a precedent for what the federal government's role is on securing the border? Does that mean that it's a free-for-all and everybody got to protect themselves? Does it mean that the federal government no longer has a duty to protect us from foreign invaders? Like, that's the road we're going down. When you say SCOTUS should have voted the other way, you're basically saying, no, let let China or whoever wants to be a foreign enemy, let them just invade, and then the states got it, and the federal government just goes hands off and goes, oh well, you're being invaded, Texas, you handle it yourself. That's the precedent I believe would be set had SCOTUS not voted 5-4. If anybody wants to tell me I'm wrong, tell me how and why. Okay. Angelia says if we open up amending the Constitution, we will lose. Okay. Y'all see what's on my screen? Oh, YouTube's just behind. Okay. So I continue when I say using ambiguous terms like invasion only feeds emotions and not logic. And that's why I said before, it's like everybody's invoking this term invasion because that's what the Constitution says. But that is left up to interpretation. And the people using the term invasion is a means to invoke emotions from people, mostly on social media. What I said was, let's be logical, be specific, and say that the Biden administration has failed to strictly adhere to the Immigration and Nationality Act, the INA. Fuck the Constitution. We don't even got to go to the Constitution. Like, why y'all always just jump to the Constitution? It's kind of weird to me. And I said begin impeachment proceedings immediately. Because according to the INA, entering the country without proper visas and paperwork and all of that and correct authorization is unlawful, illegal. And the United States government is supposed to send your ass back. If the United States is not doing that, then they failed to follow this policy. In which case, that is what I would look to discuss. The INA, and leave the Constitution alone. So to me, it looks like there's a push from the reactionary movement, the oligarch class controlling the reactionary movement, to obliterate parts of the Constitution, to open it up to ambiguous arguments and obliteration, like it has always been attacked and destroyed, right? Like Lysander Spooner said, it just fails to protect your rights. Okay, cool. Let's go on to, hopefully I was able to explain that okay. Let's go to the next tweet. Hold on, let's right here. Nope, right here. Let's close that. All right, so no, we'll get to that in a second. So I said hot take. Tensions are probably higher on social media than they are between the armed forces on the ground and at the southern border. So we got to remember the human aspect of all of this, right? The human aspect is I'm a wage employee. I work for, a state government. And you're a wage employee and you work for the federal government, right? And basically you show up to work every day to make sure your pension's going to get paid, you get your GI Bill, and your bills are paid. You know what you don't want to do when you wake up in the morning as one of these employees? Get shot. You don't want to get shot or shoot. And if you want to shoot somebody, then you just need medical attention. You need a therapist or something of the sort. You need to go speak to a doctor. Okay. The guys at the border are just there to collect a check. They don't give a damn one way or another. And what they're not going to do is they are not going to fire on each other. We had our border behind the scenes guy call in yesterday and basically reiterate the same notion. These guys ain't fighting each other. Let's call a spade a spade. Now, if there was to be, let's say somebody discharged a firearm from either side, this is where we get into conspiracy theory. So, my theory is that it's a plant. It's a plant, right? Now, it's either going to be a plant from the people or a plant in one of these agencies. So Langley will say, look, I need you to create strife at the border. You're going to go pretend to be an ICE agent, pop somebody in their ass so we can pop this thing off, right? So it won't be organic. It will be coerced. All conspiracy theory. Got to make that clear. Or you get one of these fake wild cowboys who want to go down there and start some shit. Or Langley sends one of their LSD-induced patients from, what's the name of that operation where they scramble your brain and send you back out there? Who could tell me that? What's it called again? Where they scramble your brain on LSD and all of that stuff and then send you out to carry out a mission and you can't recall what happened. What's that called again? Somebody help me out. Situation to spark some shit off, right? But the truth of the matter is the people online care more about the border than the people at the border.
I wish all the black people were as smart as Hotep Jesus. And I wish all the white people were as smart as Hotep Jesus. And I wish all the Hispanics were as smart as Hotep Jesus. Because that guy, he really gets it. He knows how to boil it down.
Let's go to the next one. So, which leads us here, right? To this tweet where I said the Texas border standoff is a Civil War cosplay for the reactionary movement. The reactionary movement is being emotionally manipulated to care about this thing. They're all charged up. Oh my God, I can't believe what the feds are doing at the border. Greg Abbott could have done something about this a long time ago. He chose not to, and he should not be trusted. Okay, that's first and foremost. Second of all, I want to talk about you fucking wild cowboys on the internet talking about, let's go down there and, I can't wait for something to pop off. Who did I see on my timeline that I follow? I want to show you. I'm like, yo, come the fuck on, yo. How could I find this? Let's type in Texas. When I see his face, I'll know. So we'll type in Texas, and then we'll go people you follow. Okay, so let's see, just people I follow. I'm gonna show you the Ian Smith thing. But there was one guy. I was just like, come on, bro, like chill out, bro. You over here bugging, man. You over here cosplaying. Here we go. Clint Russell, this guy right here. This is the tweet I was talking about. Clint Russell. Clint, stop it. Stop it. This is what I'm talking about. Y'all out here cosplaying. So it's this motorcycle riding down the street super fast, and he goes, me en route to Texas when it pops off. Come the fuck on, Clint. So shit pops off in Texas. Now everybody wants to be a wild cowboy and run to the border. Why? Why? What are you going to do, Clint? This is cowboy cosplay. This is cowboy cosplay. You ain't going to do shit, Clint, because if you was going to do something, you'd have been there already. You'd have had your weapon. You'd be enforcing the border. But you know what happened if you try that? You'd be arrested. You'd be arrested either by ICE and them, state police, the municipal police, or the National Guard. Nobody's letting you go down there and do shit, right? So this is what I'm talking about. Like, dudes get online and like they get all hyped up. Now, I don't know if he's trolling, if he's real. Obviously, it's a joke. Obviously, it's a joke. We know it's a joke, right? But there's a little bit of seriousness in every joke, right? So it's like a whole bunch of dudes is coming online, acting like they about to pop off. First of all, nothing's going to pop off at the border. Let's just call it space. We already covered that. And if it does, we know it's some MK Ultra, fake handkerchief and all of that, right? But this is just ridiculous. Oh, I'm going to go down to Texas. Why? Because the oligarch class told you this is the new thing you need to react to? Now y'all want to go protect the border. Jesus fucking Christ. Let's go see what some of my timeline is saying about this thing, because one of the tweets I want to cover is here. Actually, let's go right to it. It's right there. Ian Smith. I like this take from Ian Smith. He says, the standoff at the Texas border sure does make Americans feel good, right? And that's what's going on. Like, you got this white boy American feel good. We got tension at the border. Texas secession. Yeah. Fuck the government type shit. And he says, but I can't help but to be nagged by this question. Why did Governor Abbott spend 3 years dicking around, sending fucking invaders further into the country on taxpayer-funded bus trips to only exacerbate the fallout from the crisis at the border before suddenly growing the balls to stand up to the federal government? Because it's election season and everybody wants to up their numbers during election season, right? It's political grifting. Greg Abbott is engaging in political grifting. People will get mad when we ask these questions because we always want the good news, the easy solution. But I generally don't think of any of those things exist at this point. Americans will be dealing with the ramifications of this for years to come, regardless. And that's a great fucking take. Like Ian, and this is what I say, you know, there's something called a partisan prisoner, where when you become a quote unquote influencer, you have to stick to the party line, right? And if everybody says Texas secession and Texas good, then you better say the same thing. Otherwise, you know, everybody's mad at you and you lose followers, and that's what everybody cares about. But this guy is a very brave guy, and he's like, nah, I'm going to think on my own, right? So I love that take. What else is being said here? Let's see Michael Malice. Let's see if I agree with Michael Malice. What is the Democrat framing as to what Texas is doing? R.E. the border. Is it as brazen as this is the role of the federal government and it's under control? Good question. So you're just asking questions. I like questions. Educated people ask questions. They don't make blatant statements. Steph is dope. He says, I'm 100% against civil war. I know it sounds cool to the tactical LARPer types, but war is hell. With cities like New York, D.C., and others barely able to handle the influx of immigrants, it should be common sense that Texas is in the right here. Politics is so stupid. Not a bad take. Scott Adams, so far Biden has gotten us into, and he goes down the list of things that Biden's failed. And this is correct. This is a Biden administration failure. Tim Pool says Biden already lost in Texas. Pathetic Democrats can't even win this. SCOTUS knocks out Roe. Democrats are helpless. SCOTUS rules in favor of Biden, and Democrats are still helpless. LOL. Fuck them, says Beanie Man. Now, when he says SCOTUS rules in favor of Biden and Democrats, that's not exactly what happened, but that is what happened, right? What exactly happened was they sustained the Constitution, which happened to be in favor of the Democrats. And what happened in Roe is, so if I were to write this, honestly, I would say, you know, if I was to use his rhetoric here, rules in favor of, I would say SCOTUS ruled in favor of conservatives in the Roe decision and ruled in favor of the Democrats. But this is what you call false equivalency from Tim Pool here, because this is just not fair. What I would say is SCOTUS maintains Constitution in Roe decision. SCOTUS maintains Constitution in Texas border decision. That's the objective, smart way to talk about that. The way he does it is why he's Tim Pool. You know, it gets the most clicks. He reads the room and he knows what people are going to go and say yes to. Okay, Jake Shields. Do you support? We went over that. Matt Walsh, if you want to know what a political loser this Texas border issue is for Biden, just consider the fact that the story isn't even mentioned on the homepage of CNN or NBC News. It's a really great take from Matt. This is true. This is a huge loss for the Democrats because everybody is like, no, you failed. And that comes back to my point. This isn't about what Texas should or should not do. This is all about the failure of the Biden administration. And when we start to talk about Texas and secession, what we're doing is we're taking our foot off of Biden and them's neck. No, keep your foot on their neck, which I have to give credit to Tim for, because that's what he's doing in this tweet right here. He's keeping his foot on Biden and the Democrats' neck. That's the correct take. Let's see, Joshua Smith, what does he say here? He says Texas has a right to set their own immigration policies. The Constitution is silent on immigration. Facts. Meaning that the 10th Amendment gives Texas the right to tell the federal government to kiss their ass. Incorrect. The federal government is the aggressor here. The U.S. used to really dislike aggressive tyrants. Okay, so he's half right. I give him 50%. That's that works well in baseball. Doesn't work well in astrophysics. Charlie Kirk. Let's see what Charlie Kirk says. Greg Abbott is being very smart. The Supreme Court didn't actually order Texas to do anything. That's correct. The court gave Biden regime permission to do something. That's correct. Those are two very different things. Texas is simply laying more wire and moving in more resources. That is also true. People are talking about they removed the wire. No, Texas is still laying down wire. Okay. And like I said, if you are at the border, right, and you're on the National Guard side of things, and you just collecting a check, and you tell Texas, yo, remove the wire, and Texas go, yo, we ain't moving no wire, plus we laying down more wire, you're not gonna fire no shots. You're not actually gonna do anything. You need DC to tell you to pull that weapon out and discharge your firearm. You're not actually gonna do it. Let's be real here. And Texas knows this. That's why Texas is like, all right, chill out, homie. I'm about to lay this wire. And if I'm one of those guys at the border, I'm like, man, go ahead, do what you want to do, man. I ain't got orders to do shit anyway. They just sent me down here. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing here. Biden sent me down here. I'm chilling. I'm collecting the paycheck. Lay the wire down, bro. I'm not going to stop you because we not about to fight over some shit when we both on the same team. Also, the court deferred on the majority of the case that is still before the Fifth Circuit. Abbott is exploiting this window to rally more governors, more personnel, and to secure the moral high ground. Good for Abbott, good for Texas. So from that perspective, yes, Abbott is pretty much doing the right thing, right? Scott Adams says, I side with Texas. I would have to say I side with Texas too. Fuck the Biden admin. The Biden admin are fucking trash. You know, like I said, this is all Biden and them's fault. All right, there's not much left in here of good thoughts and opinions, so let's move on. So we took a look at what my father said. We looked at that. Let me just see if there's anything else I missed. Oh, yeah, this. Going down the rabbit hole of conspiracy theory. We know that there is this movie that's coming out later this year called Civil War. Now, I went to Uncle Hotep's page to see what his update was on all of this before I went live tonight. And last night, he also mentioned this movie. And I said, do you think it's a coincidence that there's a standoff at the border and this movie comes out this year? The oligarch class controls your emotions and therefore your thinking. Now, some people have responded and said, yeah, Armageddon actually turned into the obliteration of the earth. And they don't get what's happening here. Now, am I saying that this movie is going to cause people to take up arms and create a civil war? Possibly.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Possibly. But the play is bigger than that. The play is meta. It's meta. They don't actually need a civil war to break out. They just need you to think one's going to break out. They just need your emotions invested. They need you emotionally invested in this issue because this is going to be the big issue in this year's election. They need you participating in their sham called an election. So it's not about, is there going to be a civil war? People going to be a civil war and all of that? No. It's about playing with your emotions. It's about increasing the cortisol levels in your body so you become an unhealthy human being. Therefore, you need big pharma and everything else. It's multifaceted what happens to the human body when it carries certain emotions. While you're thinking about this, you're not thinking about something else. Opportunity cost. So this is a control of your emotions and therefore a control of your thinking. Now, what's going to happen is the movie going to come out and it could trigger the MK Ultra in somebody. Or it could just radicalize one individual. You only need one fool. You only need one fool, okay? So it's also put out there as bait to say, well, somebody's going to get radicalized based on this movie, and they're going to spark off some shit so the government can come in and say, oh, we need to increase our control over America. We need more laws. We need higher law and order. We need martial law. It's all about creating control. And that one individual only needs to take one life for them to blow it up and say, we got white Christian nationalist domestic terrorists. And then all the shit goes to hell. Okay? That is the play with the movie. Remember, they never do anything for one reason. They don't sit in Davos and Bilderberg and the Bohemian Grove and go, we're going to do one thing for one reason. No, they know that they're going to drop something in the bucket and it's going to have a ripple effect and it's going to spread and it's going to infect and affect people in a myriad of different ways. It will, I can sit here and list things all day, right? Like as my brain starts to compute this stuff. For example, you know one thing that'll change? Attribution of budget. Attribution of budget. That little thing could change the trajectory of a country. How we spend our money. How we don't spend our money. And when we spend that money, who gets it? Defense contractors.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
It's always going to come back to Nikki Haley's benefactors. Every single time. Every single time. They're steering the narrative. Correct. They are absolutely steering the narrative. Okay. All right. Now let me clean this up. Make sure there's because sometimes I want to show you guys something, and I get so caught up in what I'm doing that I don't show you everything that I want. No, I've covered everything. Let me go back to my timeline. Hold on a second. I'm just do another sweep. See, I know I missed something. Okay. Alejandro Mayorkas. Now, you know what's funny is, you know who was really tough on the border? Barack Obama. Some people argue he was tougher on the border than Trump. So who is Alejandro Mayorkas? We saw it in the clip earlier. Alejandro is our Secretary of Homeland Security. So not only does Biden need to be fired, Alejandro needs to be fired. Because he's failing to what? Protect national security. There is no Homeland Security in the Biden administration. It's all but non-existent. All but non-existent. We're going to go to phone lines. What do I want to hear from the callers today? I want the callers to tell me how they feel about this whole situation, but also, is this standoff real? Is it coerced? What's the angle? I want Kofi on tight takes. Text Hotep in your name to 202-596-5631. And we'll be right back after this short, brief commercial break.
Yeah, I can try to get that handled for you. Again, it's only my second day, so if you can give me a second. How I'm supposed to do this? How the hell are we supposed to do this by 5 o'clock?
I have no clue.
Is that possible? Hey, do you have the password to... How'd you finish all your work already?
He's not tapped in. How'd you get that done so quick?
They think they're gonna be able to budget that?
That's money. That's money right there. You understand? You guys finished your work 6 hours early?
He's not tapped in.
Rudy, call in. Let's talk to Rudy. Rudy, call in. Let's get Rudy on the line. See what he's got to say. Victor, he said, don't fall for it. It's not a revolution if you end up in jail. Midwest Sep says government has been trying to get true conservatives to pop off for years. Yeah.
Call from
Rudy the Vet.
Rudy, what's up, man?
What's going on, brother? How you doing today?
Good, good. What you got for us today?
You caught me calm, dude. I just started to do my warm-up in the gym.
Okay.
And you let me in first, so I ain't gonna bounce off the wall. You're making a lot of great points today. But when I said your argument doesn't hold water, because you're arguing logic with the most illogical, irrational people out there. Well, let me explain what I mean. The left in this country, Roe v. Wade is overturned. The Supreme Court holds no validity. Da 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 da. They give you that whole line, right? And then when the Supreme Court rules with them, look at these conservatives defying the Supreme Court. You know, so when it suits them, they like it. When it doesn't suit them, it's illegitimate. Like, and you're giving a constitutional argument, which is you're giving a broke down logical argument, right? Well, we're dealing with illogical people, man. They don't. That piece of paper means nothing to them unless it's to bludgeon you in the head. They use it when they claim it, and they hide behind it when it's what they want, and they just discard it when it's not what they want. Is this all for political show? 100%.
No, you can't just move on like that. You can't move on like that.
Well,
you gotta.
Okay, go ahead.
You can't say I have illogical reasoning and then not.
No, I didn't say you're illogical, brother.
You said broken logic.
Yeah, the people that your argument is logical, is what I'm saying.
So
brother.
what do you say we do?
The argument of the other side.
So what do you say we
illogical.
do, Rudy?
What's going to happen is...
No, don't tell me what's going to happen. What is the correct way to move forward? One, as a people. Two, as the Republican Party. And let's start right there.
One, as a people. The states are already rallying up behind Texas. They're going to build that Texas.
That's all a show. That's all a show, but continue.
Right. No, you know why it's all a show? Because all they're going to do is move the immigration to Arizona and California, man, where the Democrats have control of the states. And they're going to just hire another cartel. What is this basically breaks down to, in my tinfoil hat, wrapped the kufi on tight, is you have one cartel on the Texas border. Let's just call them the Zetos. Mm-hmm. And they have all this, they got all their money to move their people up. And they're going to be like, shit,
How
man,
do
we
you
got to
combat
get this
the
to
left? In regard to the border. If
In
you're not
regards to the
using, if
border,
you're not using logic, what are you using?
You just got to beat them in, like you said, like Beanie Man said it right, man. You know, unfortunately, beat them in. You got to stick your. They fucked this whole thing up, dude. They fucked this whole thing up, and it's going to be the biggest political issue of the year. So the tactics, I guess, of the right are good on this one. You know what I'm saying? Bringing the show, all these red states sending supplies and troops down there. It's all for show. They're not going to shoot each other. They're not going to shoot each other. And I agree with you when you got these weekend warriors that kid up and go to the shooting range. Listen to real warriors, man. Listen to the Sean Ryans, the drinking bros. Listen to guys who've been in the combat, man. When they start panicking and they start talking shit, then you got something to worry about. But
well, let's bring things back into focus, right?
Okay.
Because my argument is that people are talking about an invasion, and I'm talking about specific government policy. That is the flaw in the argument.
Right. No. Yeah, I mean,
everybody wants to say invasion, and that's not what this is. It's not an invasion.
Then what do you call it, dude?
It's called
What do you call
illegal.
it?
It's called illegal immigration.
Right. But when it's
And we have a
facilitated by
policy
your own,
for that.
right? But when that policy and the immigration itself is being orchestrated and organized by NGOs and your own fucking government, it's an invasion, brother.
It's not an invasion.
orchestrated.
It's not an invasion. What it is it's a breach of government policy. This is the difference between talking like an intellect and talking like somebody who wants to just play word games. When you're an intellect, you say exactly what's happening. It's a breach of government policy. It's treasonous, and people must abdicate or be impeached, removed from office, vote somebody new in. But to say it's an invasion is a stupid argument to have, and that's why you lose to the Democrats, and that's what the GOP knows, because it's a uniparty, and the GOP knows that what they're going to do is they're going to go in and they're going to argue, is this an invasion or is this not an invasion? And that's a piss poor argument, because we have the NIS that tells you NIH that tells you right there, yo, you're not allowed to come in this country without the papers.
Right.
We don't have to argue about semantics in the Constitution.
Yeah.
We have immigration policy. What does our immigration policy say? These people don't belong here. They go back home. Are we following this, or are we making new plans, people? What are we doing here?
But they're not following those laws, man.
And that's my point. But the people in the GOP are not arguing that. What they're arguing is the Constitution.
Brother, it's about marketing, brother. What's easier to market? This government has failed and facilitated the illegal immigrations of 10 million people over the last 2 years, or hey, yo, these motherfuckers let them invade you. What's easier to market, man? The word invasion is the marketing.
Are we marketing? Is that what we're doing here? We're marketing. Now we're a corporation business.
All politics.
But this stuff is fought in the courts. You don't need marketing in courts. What you need is a sound, strong argument.
Okay.
And arguing over an invasion with a 50% Democrat SCOTUS is not going to get you anywhere.
All right, brother. But what I'm saying is, so you're saying this is all about the courts, right? And the laws.
That's where stuff gets determined.
Okay. Have you ever seen some of these clips of these Biden judicial picks where they ask him, where the one dude's like, Kennedy asked the chick, hey, what's Article 2 of the Constitution? She's like, I'm not really aware of it.
Rudy.
Right.
We
because,
know
listen,
they
it's
suck.
not about.
My argument is that not only do the Democrats suck, but the GOP sucks at creating their arguments. They create arguments that only helps the Democrats, like saying this is an invasion. Saying it's an invasion is a subjective matter at this point. It's no longer objective. If it was China's army coming across the border, it would be objectively an invasion. The fact that we're dealing with illegal migrants, this is a subjective thing. And when it comes to subjectivity, the Democrats will always rule. What I'm saying is go to what it says on the books. And the book said these people should not be here. So are we following this policy, or are you a treasonous asshole?
Yeah, right. But you also are a deep thinker, man. Your average fucking Joe, all they see is, hey, man, my school got closed and they stuck people in my school and kicked my kids out, and I pay half my tax dollars to it. What the fuck is going on? Now you go to that guy and say, hey, man, this is what they've done. They've broken this law, this
Those
law,
people
this
don't
law,
matter,
this law.
though.
Yes, they are, because they're the useful idiots that go to, they're the same ones standing behind Joe Biden after he says, and they all,
those people don't watch the court hearings, though. They're not watching the whole political. See, the thing is, what you do is when you run your political ad campaign, you use the term invasion. But when you go in front of judges, when you go inside Congress, you do not use the term invasion. You say, here's what our immigration policy is. Are we following our immigration policy? Or are we amending it? And then you put the ball in the Democrats' court. Now, when the Democrats respond to that,
They already have, bro. Haven't you seen their response to this?
They have not responded to that. They have not responded to that, because if they have responded,
everyone for the last 2 weeks. Hold on, let me give you a point. For the last 2 weeks, every goddamn Democrat, House rep, senator, Karine Jean-Pierre has gone out and says, on the first day, we sent a bill to the House.
She's not a congressional member.
Comprehensive.
Karine Jean-Pierre is the press secretary. She's not a congressional member. She's irrelevant.
Dude, it's not just. I'm talking about all of them, bro.
I'm talking about the people who make decisions in this country. The press secretary does not make decisions for this country. I'm talking about the people in Congress.
You're picking one person I named. I'm talking about Dan Goldman. I'm talking about fucking Rahm Emanuel.
What did they say?
They go up there on national TV and say, we tried to solve this problem.
You talking about TV. I'm talking about what was said in Congress.
They say the same thing in Congress. We put a bill up for comprehensive immigration reform on day one, and they refuse to take it up in the House. That's their fucking talking point.
Say that again?
To their fucking seat. They have said, we sent on day one a comprehensive immigration reform bill, and the House has refused to take it up. So it's on the House. It's on the Republic. They're pointing their fingers back, saying we had this all settled. You know what I'm saying? They're already pushing. They're already pushing the.
So you're talking about hypotheticals. You're talking about hypotheticals.
I'm talking about they put a bill up.
If the bill has not been passed, it's not real. I'm talking about dealing in stuff that's real.
Dog, it's the Spider-Man meme. Look, it's their fault. Look, it's their fault. Look, it's their fault. It's their fault. The Democrats have facilitated this whole goddamn operation, and now they're standing there pointing. It's the Republicans' fault because we put a bill up to fix this, and they didn't take it up.
Immigration and Nationality Act says, under the INA, it is a federal crime to enter the United States without permission. The act of entering the U.S. without going through a port of entry or being inspected by an immigration officer or overstaying a visa constitutes illegal immigration. This is often classified as a misdemeanor for a first offense. 2, deportation. Individuals who are found to be in the U.S. illegally are subject to deportation or removal proceedings. These proceedings are administrative, not criminal, and are handled by immigration courts under the Department of Justice. So what are we doing with the migrants? Now follow my line of thinking here. When you go in front of them and you don't play the invasion game, and you play the here's our policy game, and you ask them, what are we going to do with the migrants? What you do is you get a clip. You get a viral clip out of Democrats because they're going to look like idiots. Then you take that and you can use that in Congress. You can use that in your political ads, and you can use that in social media and say, look, the Democrats don't know what the fuck they're doing. But because it's a uniparty, the GOP goes in there and argues semantics over whether this is an invasion or not, which is a failed tactic. The only thing it's going to do is what the GOP wants is send more campaign donations. That's all the GOP and those fools in Congress care about.
Yeah, but if you look at that bill they're trying to pass, that the GOP and the Democrats in the Senate, or the bipartisan bill, already says they're going to accept no more than 5,000 a day.
Again, you're talking about hypotheticals. When we're in Congress and we're talking today, you're talking about bills that have not been passed. I'm talking about policy that exists today. Don't bring up things that don't exist.
You're talking about policy that doesn't exist, HJ.
It does exist.
You're sitting here no, it doesn't, because they don't fucking enforce it, Hotep. They don't enforce it.
I just said that. I just said that you can't tell me the policy doesn't exist and in the same breath say they don't enforce it. That's an oxymoron. You just contradicted yourself.
No, I didn't, man.
Yes, you did. You said the policy doesn't exist and they don't enforce it. So which one is it? Either the policy exists or they don't enforce it. You got to pick one.
Reading me the written words on a piece of paper that are supposed to be the laws that they totally fucking flaunt, brother. They don't give a shit.
Correct.
It's the same way with the weak.
Correct.
So,
and that's what you do. That's what you present to the people.
How does it, bro, people, everybody don't think like we do.
Now you sound like Mo Facts, where you think people are stupid. No, people are smart enough to know when somebody ain't following the law.
Are they though, dude? Are they though, dude? Are they though? Really? Are they, brother? I mean, let's be honest. Like, I'm not sitting here giving you the Mo facts argument like white supremacy. I'm just saying, are they though? Because you got people who are still and there is no border, no walls, no USA at all. Nobody's illegal. You got all that shit, brother. Listen to their arguments, man. You got half the country who thinks that way, man. You got half the country who's been indoctrinated and thinks that way, my brother. Like, I understand where you're coming from, but what I'm saying is, dude, what's the good of the...
So I'm going to show you right here. I'm going to show you right here, right? So it says right here, under the asylum section, it says right here, says, your life or freedom has to be threatened on the account of race, religion, nationality, membership to a particular social group, or political opinion, where the alien would have access to full and fair procedure for asylum. If these people do not fall under this classification, they cannot be granted asylum. Case closed, send these fuckers back. But that's not what the GOP is invoking. They're not looking at what it says about asylum. I'm telling you what the books say. Go based upon the books, but they don't go based upon the books. They're talking about the Constitution, and they're playing semantics on the word invasion. I'm telling you what the books say. And the GOP doesn't make this argument. The same thing happened when they sent those CBDC people in there. Same thing happened when they were talking about the internet freedom. You got a bunch of GOP people who don't know shit from shit making terrible arguments. When you got me sitting here and I'm looking like, damn, I could have made a better argument that the Trayvon Martin case. I'm like, damn, I could have made a better argument than the prosecutor. The prosecutor was fucking trash. There is a such thing as the people who go into Congress make trash-ass arguments.
Because 90% of the people in Congress are trash-ass people, brother.
Bingo. That's my point. That's my point. We don't got to play semantics. We got to go by the book. And it's right here, Immigration and Nationality Act. We got rules for this shit.
Yeah, but they don't, I mean, they've been shitting on the rules.
Okay, so they've been shitting on the rules. If you tell the American people, look, here's what the rules say. Here's what the Democrats have been doing. The American people can comprehend it. I know majority of people are stupid, but they can comprehend not following the rules.
Understandable. And American people can also say, hey, look, these people shit all over the thing so much that these people, Greg Abbott's constituents, the people of Texas are tired of this fucking shit. They're tired of fucking their towns, their border towns being swelled up, people on the street, their tax dollars going to send people up. We have to buy buses to get them out of here. Shut the shit down and not give a fuck about the rules. You see where I'm coming from? Like, why are you going to sit back and be like, oh man, fuck, let's take all this fencing down because the Supreme Court said when the other fencing, though. I understand that.
They lay down more.
But the fight in the top of the political world is now seize control of the Texas National Guard, seize control of the border. Why? I mean, why? Because this is all, like you said, for the election 2024. But it's like I'm not as, you know, I understand where you're coming from. You are a logical fucking human being. You break it down. You go to the paperwork. You see everything for what it is. You disseminate that to the Hotep Nation. We do our own research. We follow up. But this is to the point now where it's like, first of all, it's not going to stop the flow. All the flow is going to move to the left. A different cartel is going to get the cake. And they're coming over in Arizona and fucking California because those states ain't stopping a goddamn thing. They're going to keep it up. This is all political game, like you said. Ain't no border patrol shooting it out with the fucking National Guard. This is all politics.
But that's not what this is about. This is about the fact that you hurt my feelings by telling me what I'm saying is not sound.
No, okay? Brother, I never said what you said wasn't sound.
I'm trying to educate people on how the GOP is failing us along with the Democrats. The Democrats are failing us because they're letting the people come across the border, and the GOP sucks at making a counter argument.
Same thing. They're the same thing. They're the same man. Joe,
I'm gonna show
Mitch
you.
Mitch McConnell and Chuck Schumer they're the same human being, dude. They're the same people with the same fucking goals, bro.
Yeah.
Just because one has an R and one has a D doesn't mean they have difference in philosophy or difference in governance. They're the same fucking bird. Two wings of the same fucking bird, man.
Yeah.
Unless people start voting libertarians in or a third party, the chain's never going to be fucking broken.
Correct.
And the minute people go out there and try to vote in a libertarian, then they're not even going to hide the fact anymore. Did anybody see the Newsweek article where they had this big ass fucking article last week about how de-arming the American citizenry might be the only way to stop a civil war? Like you said, there's bigger plans here. Newsweek, de-arming the American population might be the only way to stop a civil war. You know what I'm saying? This, like you said, this is. But what's going on in Texas right now is just pure politics, dude. It's not going to stop the flow, dude. They're still going to do what they want to fucking do. It's the federal fucking machine, man. They never run out of time and money. John Gotti, famous line. You know what the feds are? They're a machine that never runs out of time or fucking money, dude. And it's not going to stop any goddamn thing. But like you said, all I'm saying is I stand with Texas. Like, fuck it, man. You don't want it in your state no more. Fuck it, because Constitution is a meaningless piece of paper. Has been for a long fucking time. Has been for a long time, man. Over 100 fucking years. It ain't been a goddamn thing, dude. When them fucking judges back when he first got in, were shooting down every fucking left-wing fucking ideology. Like Jonah says, man, the dude was in bed with fucking Stalin. All his left-wing ideology, he was talking about the court was shooting it down. That cocksucker walked in there and was like, I'm going to pack this goddamn court if you don't start voting. And they all curled up like the fucking Border Patrol. Hey, man, I need my check. And then they started letting them do whatever the fuck you wanted to do. Dog. That paper means nothing anymore because nobody believes in it.
So look at this, right? I'm going to show you the difference between the action movement and a reactionary movement. So the other day, people were applauding the response of Texas to United States government, right, to DHS. So here's the letter I have, which is a response, AKA a reaction. This is the reactionary movement. They don't take action. They respond. So you're always on the defensive. So here's their defensive letter. Now, I got to say, it's fabulously written. I think they hit on a lot of different points here. But what does it say right here? Well, they talk about the Texas Constitution and what the Texas Constitution says and all of that. And then when you go down here and you look to the second to last paragraph, what it says. President Biden has been warned in a series of letters, one of them hand-delivered to him in El Paso, that his sustained dereliction of duty in securing the border is illegal. Okay? By instructing your agency and others to ignore federal immigration laws, he has breached the guarantee found in what? Article 4 of the U.S. Constitution, that the federal government shall protect each of the states' invasion. This is what I'm saying. They didn't quote United States Immigration and Services, Immigration and Nationality Act. That's not what he quoted. He jumped straight to the Constitution. Why?
Brother,
why?
I understand where
every time they fucking come out their mouth, they talking about the Constitution. It's like you don't even got to go there yet. And that's how the left controls all of this shit. Because you go way too far. And it's like, well, why didn't we just go to our immigration policy? Isn't this an immigration issue? The immigration ain't even in the Constitution. How are we dealing with the immigration problem and deferring to the Constitution when the Constitution don't say shit about immigration?
I
mean, you're right.
HotepJesus.com.
Brother, I'm not.
Make it make sense, Rudy.
Bro, I understand what you're saying, dude, but you're giving people way too much credit, man. You're giving people way too much credit, man. You are, dog. You are, brother. You are. There's not a lot of people who are deep thinkers like you, brother. There's not a lot of people. I mean,
I'm just dealing with the real. I'm not even trying to think deep here. I'm just trying to deal with the facts in front of us.
You're dealing with what's written down, our law. I understand 100% where you're coming from, dude, but I'm feeling like this is just a terrible marketing ploy by the GOP. But that's what they're going to label it, dude. I understand.
It's great for the elections. It's great for. I think it's a great marketing plan for the elections. As far as handling the border, it's not fucking doing shit.
Do you think any of this is going to stop with Trump? No.
I mean, stop with Trump? Immigration slowed a lot
only-
with Trump. Immigration slowed a hell of a lot with Trump.
The only thing that's going to stop with Donald Trump is the crossings, what the actual flow of people coming over.
Mm-hmm.
But the 12, 20, 30 million that are already here ain't shit going to change.
Yeah, I don't know what
They're
we're
still
going to do.
They're still going to be like,
We
hey
gotta
man,
pack
we need
them
to
up.
give amnesty. Dog, you see the fucking prepared the prepped up bill that they got. They're talking about giving everybody that came here over the last 3 years instant work visas. Everybody.
Yeah.
12.5 that we only know about 12.5 million instantly work visas.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's none of it's going to stop.
Right.
This is all a political game. You are thinking, the only thing I say your argument doesn't hold water is because you're arguing facts, logic, and common sense. The people who argue with emotion, stupidity, and no sense, man. That's the only reason I said what I said, brother. I'm with you on this, man. I understand where you're coming from. I just see you're arguing. You're putting out a factual.
I'm pointing out a factual argument. We have
If
an
I was a
immigration
judge-
policy. Hold on. Let me finish this off because we got to go to the next caller. I'm pointing out the fact that we're dealing with an immigration issue. And in a letter from Ken Paxton, Attorney General of Texas, he does not invoke our immigration policy. He invokes the Constitution. And immigration is not in the Constitution. He's playing the game of semantics about what is an invasion. And that's a failed tactic.
Okay, I'm with you. I agree 100%. But the GOP is a failed party, bro.
Yes, correct.
It's a failed
We agree
party.
on that. Yeah.
Right? The Democrats, they're a failed party, man.
Yeah.
They're all this is the jockeying to get the next asshole to run the country, but nothing's going to change, dude, because none of these people have the real power, man.
Yeah.
Even Donnie T, like I said in the beginning a couple weeks ago, the only thing we can hope with a Donnie T is that this economy opens up, and this time I stack away more of that money to go chip in and build up something in Hope's-Tepistan, because after Donnie T's gone, you know, that's all you're going to get is maybe a 2 or 3 year run on a good economy. Let's build up our shit and go buy our own shit on top of a mountain and build up the dream. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Let me get to the next caller, though, because you've been on for 26 minutes.
Hey, man, Hotep and Bill, brother, man.
Hotep and Bill. I love arguing.
Of course, man. Of course. I told you I'm coming in arguing today, brother. I'm coming in arguing today.
All right, say less. I'm going to see you tomorrow.
All right. Peace, brother.
Peace. Somebody in the chat had a funny comment. She said, where does one go to get Hotep Jesus' origin story and his positions? I just started listening, heard he was an Israelite black supremacist. Doesn't seem to be the case. They say a lot of shit about me. They say a lot of shit about me to keep people from listening to me. Langley tactics. They got a bunch of FBI agents on my ass. Pause. Comps Uter says a legal definition of invasion, an encroachment upon the rights of another, the incursion of an army for conquest or plunder. So that's even a legal definition according to Comps Uter. Like, what game are we playing here, people? Strong Dad calling. Oh, there you go. He read my mind.
Call from
Strong Dad, what up, man?
What up? I, Strong Dad, would like to confirm that Hotep Jesus is in fact a black supremacist, anti-Semitic black nationalist.
You ain't shit.
And if you got the clip, run with it.
What's good with him, man? Happy Hotep Thursday.
Hey, happy Hotep Thursday. Man, it's an invasion. I don't care what it's an invasion.
It's an invasion?
I know that it's
from
not
a marketing perspective, it's an invasion. From a legal perspective, it's not.
You know what? From a contractor perspective, it's an invasion.
From a contractor perspective? They stepping on your toes.
And now, they step heavily on the toes.
Yeah.
They step heavily on the toes. This right here is you got a lot of lanes in the small business world And this right here clogs up a lot of them lanes right there.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? These, you know, I can only help but feel that way because of, you know, what I've experienced with, you know, with immigrants and with how they're, you know, how they're utilized. You know, from the outside perspective, of course, I can't say it's an invasion, but from the perspective of someone like myself who owns a painting business, you know, I already compete with other companies that have, you know, a lot of workers that, you know, can afford the overhead to shoot a lower, you know, price, all these things. And so when you have things like this happening, you all you can see is that lane close up for people like myself, make it harder for us because, you know, we can't lowball. We have to pay our families. We have to pay for our materials and so on and so forth. And, you know, our quality, it could speak for itself with our higher clientele, but it's not your higher clientele that fills up your, you know, your year. It's usually the smaller, you know, the smaller houses. It's the smaller properties that are the bulk of your work. And, you know, when you got a contractor who will call himself a local company and will hire, you know, 10 illegal immigrants and pay them all, you know, maybe $75 for the day, you can afford to charge somebody, you know, $2 or $3 grand for their 3-story house, knowing damn well you'll be able to do 3 of those houses in a week easily. And, you know, these guys, like, you know, their lifestyle is to live off of staples. So, you know, they can take $75, get whole food ingredients, and feed all of their kids. We don't know how to do that because we live in excess as Americans. So, you know, even the things we have, our bills are based off of the excess we have. So, you know, we might not eat in excess and we might eat frugally, but we still have heating bills and all these other things that they'll just say, fuck it, and forgo. And so, you know, it makes it out to feel like an invasion of your of the realm in which you provide for your family.
Definitely feels like an invasion.
Yeah, absolutely. That's, you know, me and my wife, we're leaving Colorado for many reasons, but from a business standpoint, one of the main reasons is because this is like a hotbed for immigrants to come up from once they leave Texas. And so we get just entrenched with a lot of immigrant labor. You know, even the work that we do, you know, the community work that we do now has changed. We can't just go and run a food drive or a clothing drive and know that we're going to be helping the citizens of Colorado, the veterans and the black folk and the natives and the white dudes who are out on the street. Our aid doesn't even go to them. It goes to the Venezuelans. So now we have to figure out creative ways to, you know, it's not about not helping one people. It's about helping a group of people who have been here and have been your neighbors from day one.
Yeah, but let's get to the juicy shit, because what you're saying, everybody concurs. Is this shit real or not? Is this shit real or not? Is it a distraction? Is guns gonna be bussing? What's the ultimate plan here?
Guns. I don't believe guns will be bussing. I do believe it is a distraction, but I also do believe that it is real. I believe that all of those things can exist.
What's real?
In the same. What's happening right now is real. Very real.
I don't think it's real.
Will guns be bussing? I don't think it's real from the guns be bussing standpoint, but I think, you know, obviously this shit is happening. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously something is going on down there. People are talking about it.
Yes, something is going on, yeah.
But from the standpoint of, you know, guns being it ain't finna come to that. I just don't believe that at this point in time our government is willing to push it so far that we start bussing, because there's just too many armed citizens. I don't think that they're ready to do some shit like that.
Now you came back to what I was thinking earlier. I'm glad you brought that up. That is going to be the Civil War. When them illegals meet Rudy the vet in his backyard, when them illegals meet Hotep Jesus in his backyard, oh, nigga.
That's different.
I ain't going to be like ICE. Ain't going to be no stand down order. I am going to enforce my border.
But see, that's the part that's real. That's what I mean
the
by
part
that's real. You know?
That is real.
That's the part that's real.
Yes,
absolutely.
And that's what they
But
want.
the rest of this, it's all a distraction. The rest is all a distraction. Because are we supposed to believe that this is just now happened? This shit they've been doing crazy shit like this, letting these fools in for a minute now. So it is a distraction. There are more important things happening right now. And between this and DEI, we have been, completely derailed as a society, as far as focusing on shit that matters.
Yep.
So,
I agree.
That's the stance I take.
All right, man. Appreciate you. Strong words from Strong Dad. Make sure y'all go check out his article today. Let me put that up on the screen for the people. I really enjoyed reading that article. This is the one that the people voted for and said they wanted to read. Hold on, let me get this up on your screen. But it's a really, really good article. Strong Dad's been contributing to Men of Order, his expertise on fitness. And this one is Gym Bro versus Science Bro. And it's basically, he weighs the pros and cons of listening to the scientists and the pros and cons of listening to the gym bros. And he says, ultimately, you want to listen to the gym bros. And he makes a really, really good argument for that. So go to menoforder.com to read that full article. Really enjoyed it. Great job. Looking forward to the next one. The next one is going to be, don't tell me. The next one is Barbells versus Machines, the final showdown. I can't wait to see that one.
That's right.
All right, man. Appreciate you, man. Hotep and Bill.
Hell yeah. Hotep and Bill, man.
And make sure you go to at the Strong Dad. He has a guide right now called the Strong Dad Protocol. You can purchase that, and that is his protocol on, he's won fitness competitions. So if there's anybody you can listen to, you definitely want to listen to somebody who has won fitness competitions and not somebody who has not. Let me take a look at the chat here. We got some. Jimmy Doss said they want a new and better J6 at the border. Ooh!
Oh, this a real Hotep brother.
I like that. Might steal that for the show tonight, Jimmy Doss. They want a new and better J6 at the border. They need some real violence where a couple of feds perish, not one white woman. They would take it and further try to legitimize insurrection lies to consolidate power. Best take of the day. Matter of fact, I'm about to pull an Uncle Hotep and steal that, Jimmy Doss. That is stolen. Stolen tweet burglar. You just got tweet burglar. That's how good that was. I never steal tweets. This is going up right now. I can't wait. I cannot wait. I cannot delay. We must tweet this right now. Let me modify it so it sounds like me. They want a new and better J6 at the border, okay? They need some real violence where a couple of feds, I want feds capitalized. I don't know why I always want feds capitalized. It's just something I do. Where a couple of feds perish, not, I'm going to change this to a single, whoops. Okay. They would take it and further try to legitimize insurrection lies to consolidate power. Hashtag Texas standoff. Well said, Jimmy Doss. Thank you. You have been jacked, officially jacked for a good ass tweet. What else y'all saying in here? Fresh Mike said, stop using the word immigration. We are dealing with foreign criminals, not immigrants. Robert Jones, member for 4 months, appreciate you. He says, someone tell Strong Dad they are everywhere. Yeah. The Haram Life, he said, the idea of an invasion is being used as an egregor to charge up both sides will lead to laws being passed that'll take away more rights. Bingo. That's my point, man. That's another good point. And not say he didn't even put it in the bag. Didn't even go in the bag. Just got stolen. Daryl J said, I said last night, this is a setup. Huge setup. Jamerson's going to go retweet it. Go retweet that. It's a good-ass take, but unlikely as a scenario. Too dangerous from the Biden admin perspective to create a new Waco martyr situation. Listen, after the pandemic, I don't put another Waco past them. Are you serious? Did you see what they did with the pandemic? These people will stop at nothing. What else we got in here? I think it's real, but intentionally over-exaggerated to get people hyper-focused, says No Toes. I agree. I absolutely agree. All right, let's go to the next caller. Who we got in here? I seen Sister Otis in here somewhere. Sister Otis, call her. Let's talk to Sister Otis. I just think it's a failed tactic amongst intellectuals to use the term invasion. It's more of a feel-good term as opposed to an intellectual term.
Sister Otis.
Sister, what up?
Hey, what's up, Jesus? How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing, man?
You're spicy today. You're spicy, baby.
Oh, thank you, baby. A little spicy.
So I wanted to comment on yesterday's topic real quick because I think I got a point that nobody brought up.
Okay.
And the DEI, Charlie Kirk, and all those boys keep on talking about the pilots. But all this is getting brought up because a panel on the side of the airplane fell off. There was no bolts on an airplane wing. Pilots don't do mechanics.
You trying to use common sense, though.
So when the pandemic went down, the airlines, they fired thousands of employees because they wouldn't take that required doctor poke. So that's seniority.
Oh, sister, stop. You're blowing my mind right now. Huge blind spot for me. Word. All those people that got laid off because they wouldn't take the jab are experienced workers, not DEI workers, experienced workers, and you wonder why the planes is failing now. Nailed it, Sister Otis. Go off.
Yes. And we're talking about seniority. A bunch of those people were seniority mechanics that have been working on those planes for 30, 40 years. The old dudes, they said, fuck this, we're out of here. And right after that happened, I mean, I flew like within days of all those people getting fired.
Mm-hmm.
Not laid off, they got fired.
Right.
And we literally were grounded for 4 hours because they couldn't figure out how to turn the light off in the cab of the airplane. I shit you not. And then so they kept on telling us another half hour. And then finally the pilot comes out and he tells everybody over the loudspeaker, well, we can't turn this light off. And then and for everybody's like, oh, everybody's grumpy.
Was the pilot white or black?
Say that again?
Was the pilot white or black?
It was a white dude.
Oh, no. The white pilot don't know how to turn the light off in the plane? Where's DEI when you need it?
In the cab. Unbelievable, right? So then he asked us, all of us that have been waiting there for 4 hours, if we had any questions. So I raised my hand and I said, is this because you guys fired everybody? And then it was like he got hit in the face with a frying pan. He said, oh, and then he said something that was you couldn't even understand. It didn't make any sense because I got him.
I'm not showing up for no more debates. I'm sending Sister Otis for all my debates from now on.
And
how was his jawline? The chat is asking, how was his jawline?
He was like a turkey neck. He just like, I got him. And I said, this is just like Ayn Rand right now. This is Atlas Shrugged. We're living through it.
What airline was it?
American Airlines.
American Airlines. Wow. American Airlines.
And that does not give you any. That does not give you any confidence in flying either. They can't even figure out how to turn off a light. Most of the pilots, all that is computerized now.
All of it.
They just, so they're barely even flying that airplane. This is not about this is not about pilots and stuff. Pilots don't work on airplanes. So, and then can I add to the Texas?
Let's do it.
Okay, and I hear what you guys are saying about the setup for the J6, but what really needs to happen for it to be adjudicated is Texas has to start arresting federal agents for trafficking.
Word.
And that's how it can get adjudicated.
See, now you're talking sense.
That's it right there. So they arrest them, a bus full of children. Where are these kids going? You're trafficking children. Boom. And those federal agents all get arrested.
You're arrested.
And then that goes to the Supreme Court, and then you're breaking the law. And that's a big break in the law.
See, Sister Otis
they got 85,000 children that they don't know what happened to. One of my favorite senators or congressmen is Captain Higgins, or he used to be a captain down there in Louisiana.
Okay.
They don't. Have you ever checked into him?
No.
Oh my God.
That's
that's
Chad's territory.
Yeah, they don't build them like that anymore, but when they do build them like that, they build them in Louisiana, baby.
Yes,
Let me tell you what.
Yes, they do.
So, yeah, you got to check out. He used to be a captain of a police down in Louisiana, and then he left the police force and he became a congressman in Louisiana. And there's Congressman Higgins, and there's great him quizzing Ray, head of the FBI, and also the people that are in charge of overseeing where the kids are going that are coming over, unaccompanied minors.
Yeah.
And they're sending them off to these. It's all cartels. This is all cartel. This is Nancy Pelosi's human beings. How did Al Capone operate in Chicago? Dirty cops and dirty politicians. Ain't nothing changed.
This is true. This is true.
That's all I got to say
Sister
about
Otis
that.
for Congress. Sister Otis for Congress. I need y'all to type in the chat. Sister Otis for Congress.
No, sir. No, sir.
What do you
What
mean?
are you trying to do to me?
How come all the best people never want to run for Congress?
They're scary. The government is scary. These
Yeah,
people are crazy.
I don't want to do the job. The people talking about Hotep Jesus for Congress. No, you ain't putting me in that motherfucking swamp. No, the hell you won't. I feel you. Somebody got to do the job, though. We sending Sister Otis into Congress.
No way.
Fuck that. I appreciate you, man.
I gotta get going because I picked up a little side job and earned some money. So.
Go do your thing.
Okay, baby. Thank you so much. Lots
thank
of
you.
love. Hotep and Bill.
Hotep and Bill. Sister Otis for Congress, damn it. Sister Otis for Congress. You know what I'm saying? She know what the fuck she talking about. Somebody on the Rumble chat said immigration is in the Constitution. The term immigration is in the Constitution. For a 1 month supply of supplements from menavoida.com, I want y'all to show me where the term immigration is in the Constitution. What page, what article, clause, show it to me. That's your challenge.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Let's go to Dre Brown. And then we're going to get to Fresh Mike. Dre, call in. Let's talk to Dre. Let's talk to Dre. See what's going on. What is going on? Yeah. Someone says they run. See a lot of cartel talk. What up, Lauren? Lauren's coming to the Grifties.
Oh, this a real Hotep brother.
Montoya, you like that, right? She said arrest these motherfuckers for trafficking. I think the word is bomb, man. I'll pull up with a warrant so fast. You and pull their asses over. Hey, yo, y'all over here trafficking. illegal people. I'm arresting all of y'all. We going to court.
Call from
Andre Burrow.
Dre, what up, man? What you got for us today, bro?
It might be either a spark of insanity or a spark of inspiration. Okay, you said, okay, I'm not going to say I know anything about the Constitution so much.
Okay.
That's like ninth grade, and that's like, 2 decades ago. The Constitution, did they say anything, any provisions about like what the border is and the settings of the border in the Constitution?
Does it say anything? It doesn't specify border. Like, you won't find. Hold on, I'll tell you right now. Let's get his question answered right now. Okay, so yeah, border is not mentioned in the Constitution at all. It's just talking about like, so they mention things like naturalization, creation of new states. Like Texas can divide itself into 6 different states, according to the Texas Treaty with the United States government. Regulation of commerce with foreign nations, but you won't see immigration or border mentioned in the Constitution.
Oh, okay.
They didn't have they didn't like, it was like very early on. They couldn't foresee a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, they wouldn't know. They wouldn't think expansion on everything is. Okay, now secondly, I know that the Constitution provides something about citizens forming militias. Am I right?
You say that again?
That the Constitution provides that citizens themselves, independent of a state government or federal government, create military militias.
Yeah, yeah, militia, I think, is covered under the Second Amendment.
Oh, okay. With that being, why doesn't somebody who have the funds create a militia to go down there and protect the border and literally turn those people back?
Well, I think just to try and answer that question, number one, these militias do exist, and they're training currently. They're all like former SEALs and Rangers and shit. I just don't think that they're training to do the government's job. Like the guys that are really in the bushes training right now, they're not thinking about the border. They are thinking about Joe Biden. When they take action, they are coming for Biden. They're not trying to protect the United States. They are trying to reform the United States.
Okay. Well, me personally, the best way, I have an idea to solve the problem. Everybody that want to come over here, the ones that who already here, the 13 or so million, when we could kind of identify each of them, we put like, I don't want to use the word debt, but a debt on them. Like say if they've been here for like 10 years, they got paid $300,000. Every 5 years, they got to pay at least, that they've been here illegally, they got to pay at least $50,000 towards their citizenship, to put them in a citizenship line. Because first they're here illegally against our laws. So that'll be some kind of like, say like pay parole instead of us locking you up, which, we probably don't have the capacity to let you be out here, but you have to pay that down before you can even apply.
I think that's kind of flawed. I can think of too many loopholes for that. The proper way to deal with the current immigrants here is to fucking house them in Democrat houses and let the Democrats pay for them. Nancy Pelosi needs to open up her doors, and anybody else, Elizabeth Warren, whoever else, they need to house those people in their houses. The rest of them got to go back to the country they came from. They need to be shipped out, packed up, shipped out, and sent back through the southern border. Mexico allowed them to come in. Mexico got to deal with them.
Yeah,
I drop them off right at the border.
And that's the reason why, use non-lethal means to keep them, from crossing the border. Take a bunch of alligators out the
we can stop them. I mean, stopping them coming across is not an issue. It's shipping them back is going to be more of an issue than stopping them coming across.
Well, my idea would be to stop the bleeding first, because they bleeding in.
All you gotta do is put Trump in, and Trump will stop the bleeding.
So, well, that's not gonna happen, because everybody's gonna believe when you get indicted, you guilty. So people who don't have the least amount of legal mind, all indicted means is that you calling me to trial.
High net worth Democratic housing asylum program. There you go. I like that. I like that. You want immigrants here? You want asylum? Put them in your house. Put them in your house. You don't want to put them in your house? Then shut the fuck up. We shipping them out. You gonna put up bread for these motherfuckers? You gonna pay for them out of your own pocket? Pelosi, Elizabeth Warren, and the rest? You're not gonna do that? All right, we shipping them out. Take them into your house. They came across the southern border. We dropping them off on the southern border.
Exactly. Well, it should be a Mexican problem. I mean,
somebody said, "What if we don't send them back and we imprison them and use them for labor?" I don't like that. I don't even want them. I don't want them here. They stink. Send them back across the border. Drop them off at the southern border. We don't need any more prisons. Our prisons are already full, and keeping them here is going to cost more. Keeping them here, we still got to feed these people. We still got to maintain these people. No, send them back.
Well, somebody that said that why we don't imprison them and use them as labor.
Yeah.
No, I know that person. That person can't be black.
Now it's got to be a white.
You know what I mean? That you know what I mean. That's just a shitty idea on the top of it.
Yeah.
You don't force nobody to work. That's
some slavery.
That
shit.
alone, come on.
Yeah.
I mean, unless America wanted to develop a first and second class citizenship, I mean that's the most, either that or we put bounties on their head to collect them to make them go back. No, I have no problem with bounties and over forced labor. I won't believe in a bounty. Have a bounty and send them back.
Yeah, we should definitely have a bounty program. You catch an illegal, nigga, I'm giving you a check. $10K every motherfucker you catch. Absolutely.
Don't say that. Don't see now the young turn a lot of slave catchers though. That's always gonna be.
Slave catchers?
That outside.
Nah, if the government got a snitching program. If I know there's some illegal immigrants housed, I should be rewarded to tell you where these motherfuckers is at. Just like every other snitch. Every other snitch gets paid and taken care of by the federal government. Why can't we get paid for snitching on illegal immigrants?
Exactly. I have a problem.
Blunt Step said make it a game show. Now that's not a bad idea. That's a bad idea, but it's a fun idea. We should make it a game show. We should make the motherfuckers like American gladiators with immigrants, illegal immigrants.
There was a movie about that with Schwarzenegger in it called The Running Man in the 80s.
Yeah, that's right. That was a movie. Yeah.
Yeah. So he must have seen that. But like I said, really and truly, there's not gonna be a solution because both sides don't want the problem solved.
Both sides don't want it solved. Right.
Yeah, because it helps them bring in money. Until
Squid Games. I like Squid Games idea. Hey, motherfucker. Yo, making your ass getting shot. Squid Games with illegal immigrants. Oh, should I tweet that? Hold on, I'm gonna ask the people. Should I tweet that? Start a poll.
Yes, you got my vote. Yeah, I gotta get back on Twitter. Big bad, you can trip me rolling more. But let me get off this phone because I got pain medication and some of the ideas that's coming around my cranium.
Yeah,
don't need to be put over the internet. So hold that master chat and build.
I appreciate you, bro. Yo, listen, Squid Games with illegal immigrants. Winner gets to stay. One of you motherfuckers get to stay. The rest of you motherfuckers, I don't want to say it, but shit. You can't. You ain't got to go home, but you gotta get the fuck out of here. Damn, they telling me to tweet this. Y'all are terrible. Y'all are terrible. This is why it's so hard to follow me, because it's like you get all these different moods. You get the serious me, you know, prior to the show. Then you get the loose me during the show. And then whatever other mood, the high me whenever I'm high, you know, or drunk tweet. So, Lord have mercy. I don't even know what's going to happen after I tweet this. If I'm not here tomorrow, it's y'all fault. Squid Games for... Yeah. Oh, man. Winner gets to stay. I don't want to be gruesome, so I'll say loser goes home. I don't want to be gruesome, so we're going to say losers go to the border. Losers get a one-way ticket to the border. A lot of money could be generated from this. A lot of money could be generated from this. Y'all are terrible. Y'all, I know it was a white person that thought of that shit. Oh, 83% said yeah. You got a spicier take, Steph? Oh, Lord. How do you get spicier than that? Yeah, the grifting is too strong to resist. Lauren said, I'm RTing that right the fuck now. Oh, my God. I had to demon that said tweet is too spicy. Fresh mic call in. Hotep trying to get banned. Yo, I had to lighten it up and just say one-way ticket to the border. I couldn't allow, because I don't believe in killing the people. I don't think the illegals should be murdered. I'm against that. I'm against murder. Let's just be clear. Haram Lake said, I'll house all the fine Colombian migrants. Could you imagine? I mean, that's what they really need to do. Let's be honest. Line these motherfuckers up and go, who wants this motherfucker? You know what I'm saying? Adopt a migrant. We need an adopt a migrant program. Mike. And if you don't get adopted, you just go the fuck back home. White Mike, what's up, man? You adopted a migrant?
I'm good, man. I just love the fact you answered the phone and I hear, just go the fuck back home. I hear you talking to your kids' friends about 9 o'clock at night, you know?
Oh, man. So what's your take, man, on all of this, man?
Well, man, a couple things. I think I'm probably the closest person to this situation geographically. As you know, I just lived in Texas the last 2 years, and now I live in southern Oklahoma. I have a lot of friends in Houston, all over Texas, where family and friends. Oklahoma is just northern Texas, really. It's extremely, influenced. And Governor Stitt called up, and he's calling up reserves, which I have cousins in, to go to the border, state reserves, that kind of thing. So right now, for us, it's a whole thing, man. You know what I mean? Yeah. I absolutely agree with the J6 play. Here's my concern that I haven't heard brought up on the show yet, and that is the economic warfare. Have we looked up how dependent the state of Texas is on federal funds?
Okay. So I'm glad you brought that up, because I looked that up before the show, and I was going to talk about secession and decided not to because it's complicated, and it's a whole nother show, right? But since you brought it up, Texas can't secede, bro.
I know that's. I mean, they could, but they'd have to change but it can't be like an overnight bang the gavel. Now we're our own nation. Then it would fall apart.
It would fall apart so fucking fast.
And I think that's why Abbott has not you know the way I like to say, he's not put his nuts on the table.
Yeah.
It has to be a short table anyway, but I'm just saying.
And the people
have to help
saying,
him up, but-
and the people pushing for secession either are not going to be affected by said secession, or they're just, you know, hoping and wishing, pretending, LARPing, and cosplaying, because it's just not a viable solution. I looked up, you know, at what would happen if, you know, secession were to take place, and I'm like, yeah, Texas is going to fall apart.
Correct. However, what if New Mexico, Oklahoma, Texas all decided to group up, maybe even with Louisiana, and we all decided to run our own thing and big tariffs on the ports. So anything coming in, you know, from that side, and then you kind of figure Florida would probably jump in. So, you know, if you have that entire area, you know, possibly Georgia. So if you have that entire area basically going, we're balkanized and, you know, we'll work with the government, but you know what I mean? If you want anything coming into these ports, you're going to have to pay a huge tariff or work with us on funding. That would be, once again, we're way left field here. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no, but I love it. I love it. It's,
Yeah.
it's a
Well,
galaxy brain take, but I love it.
And I understand, man. I mean, that's, bro, I want to take my guns and go. I want to take, you know, I'm not going to say how many I have, but I want to load up my Ford Explorer, lift it for you, and I want to go right to the border. You know, and that's your thought, and you have to calm down and step back and understand that's not the way to do it. And no, not to hurt any illegals, but the federal government, because you know a lot of us, we just waiting for the federal government. You know, it's like, please, let's go. So it's a bad thing. Yeah. And then once again, the economic warfare. Because, and that's such a bigger deal, right? So you've got I think it's something like 2.5, 3 million people in Texas that are solely dependent on federal government funds to live daily. And then you have a lot of people that are supplemented, you know, so they may be able to live, but their electricity going to get cut off. They're going to get that eviction notice, right? So they need that money. Now, all the federal government has to do is go, oh, you're slick? Cool. Well, you don't get any more funds. And then you've got a war inside Texas with Texans, right? Because you're going to, you know, and then it's a whole thing. And I think that's the final card. I think that's the card they're waiting to play. And Greg knows he can only push so much before they pull that card. And they're like, okay, well, we're just suspending all federal funds from the state of Texas. And then it will probably collapse from the inside out, you know, just because of the way everything works. Financially. So, and then the other little small bone, I'm not going to go Rudy, although I'm proud of him for standing his ground and doing his thing, you know, but I'm not going to go that crazy. But I feel like the one issue we missed in this argument is absolutely breaking the word invasion down, but we didn't break the word illegal down.
Okay.
And so before we get to the word invasion, it's an illegal immigrant invasion, right? So we got to break the first word down before we break the third word down.
I like that.
The first word is illegal. Now, if you look up the word immigrant, which you could right now, it is somebody who comes to stay permanently. If you look up the word illegally, it is someone who violates the rules of a nation to stay permanently. So there are people coming here with the sole intention of breaking this country's laws to set up their own thing within this country, to live here permanently. No plans to leave, no asylum. That's why they try to change the word from illegal to undocumented. All that little stuff that they do.
Yes.
And so, and I am not trying to argue with you here. You will always be smarter than me, and that's cool. I bet I can play guitar a little better, but other than that, you got me, and I'm not going to fight. But legitimately, that is what kind of leans it over into the invasion area of conversation, right? Because if it is somebody coming solely to this country with the sole purpose of breaking our laws for their personal benefit, right? So if I'm in Oklahoma and I go down to Texas with the sole purpose and intent of breaking the Texas law, a Texas law, for instance, weed is legal in Oklahoma, right? Dispensary legal. Like you get a card, you go. It is not legal at all in Texas. So if I get a trunk full and roll to Texas, not that I know anything about this, but if I get caught, I'm now breaking Texas laws, right? And I'm going there with the sole intent of crossing state lines to break laws for my own personal financial gain. So could we say that these illegal immigrants are doing the same?
I like how you think.
And then if they are doing the same and they're doing it en masse, could we say that that could be seen as an invasion, or do you feel like that's one half step too far? And I'm just asking.
I feel like you just made a whole lot of headway and then killed me with the invasion. Like you're done. You did it. You said these motherfuckers broke the law. Done. Lock them up.
Right.
Send them out. Done.
Right.
We don't got to go into the next level. It's an invasion. No, we don't got to go there. They broke the law. If my black ass break the law, what's going to happen, Mike? What's going to happen to me, Mike?
A shitty public defender and more time than the average person.
If I take a stroll through the Capitol building on January 6th and don't touch a fucking hair on a single person's body, they're going to lock my black ass up. They'll lock your white ass up, but they want to lock these motherfuckers up? Hell no. You got to lock them up and deport. Lock them up and deport.
That's, yeah. And then do you have any thoughts on the ground? Like, if you're...
No, I don't. I can't even begin to put myself there. That is, first of all, I don't give a fuck. So if I'm sitting on the board and they give me orders or some shit like that, I'm gonna follow orders, and that's about it. I'm not doing anything more than what my boss tells me to do.
And is there a point where you walk away and go, this is,
Absolutely.
know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They'd be like, yo, it's time to, hey, Sarge, man, my weapon wouldn't discharge. I don't know what happened. My shit jammed. I tripped and fell. Look at this scratch on my arm. Oh, man, I couldn't. My bad, Sarge. No, nigga, no, I'm not. Fuck them.
That's exactly. Yeah, man. And once again, if you're an illegal immigrant, and if you come to this country solely for the purpose of breaking its laws for your own personal benefit, you got to go. You know what I mean? And I can't do that. It's just not the way it works. So you got to go, and then there's a point where, the January 6th thing was a brilliant take. Shout out. So that was a brilliant take on it, and I think that's what they want. Yeah. Hotep Jimmy Doss. I follow him on Twitter. But yes, sir. And then wanted to let everybody know today, the manager of the dojo has had some issues, and our Monday meeting has been pushed back to today. But I have a meeting with him today, and then tomorrow, perfect end of week, people can get ready. We're going to have hard, solid details on the Hotep hangout the day before, where you can hang out, you can get tickets, you can hang out with the Hoteps, kick it, have a good time before the show on Friday night.
Sweet.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Excited about that.
Yeah, hell yeah. Super excited. I'm going to do a Grift Report and then head right there.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. And Hotep and Build, Hotep is for the children. We'll tune in tonight. Thank you.
All right. See you later, man. Thank you.
Yes.
Shout out to Fresh Mike. Wait. Who's this? Oh, okay. No, we took care of that. Hold on, Jonah. Who this? AK. Okay. Hold on, Jonah, because I know the fuck Jonah gonna come way out in the galaxy. Hold on, Jonah. Actually, Jonah, if you cut the line, go ahead, call. We could take your call. You are AK. Y'all the last two callers in here. I'm sorry, y'all. I went on that whole tirade yesterday about black pilots, but this shit is fucking funny. So I said Squid Games for illegal immigrants. He said loser gets a one-way ticket with a black pilot. Lord have fucking mercy. When you funny. And that's my rule. Like, when people disagree with me and argue with me in the chat, it's like, if you disrespectful, you get a block. You get a hide reply and you get a block. But if you funny, even if you're racist, if you're funny, I'm going to let it slide. I might even, look, I got to retweet this. This is just fucking funny. This is just funny. AK, what you got, man?
What up, man? Hey, man, I just want to say yesterday's show was fantastic, man. Your DEI presentation.
Thank you.
Spot on, man. Like, I watched it earlier this morning. But yeah, man, it was good. And I got to say this, when it comes to your analysis, when it comes to the Constitution, what it says about immigration, you are also 100% spot on, sir.
Okay. How so?
So the Constitution, like, it was written with intent. Like, I actually do believe that the Constitution is a great document. And I think that it was left the way that it is on purpose, right? If we want to amend the Constitution to include some type of immigration powers, that's what we need to do.
Yeah.
And because it's not explicitly mentioned, it actually, because of the 10th Amendment, should be left up to the states. And so this is this weird gray zone that we get into, kind of like with abortion, where people want to do like a national ban on abortion. It's like, it's not in the Constitution. Amend the Constitution. If you want a national ban on abortion, don't try and use Congress to basically put in a bunch of unconstitutional laws that have nothing to do with what the founding says. I actually think that if we followed the Constitution and if we amended it and the things that aren't put in there as an amendment are left up to the states, that's kind of this perfect union between federalism and states' rights. So
yeah,
I agree that if you're a conservative and you actually think that the Constitution is the most important document in our system, then you can't just say, yeah, Texas can, do whatever it wants, unless, again, you are exercising and asserting the 10th Amendment. And then on top of that, again, there's federal dollars that are coming in. So the best bet is to amend the Constitution. But that's not going to happen. And because it's not going to happen, this is how the system is supposed to work, right?
Mm-hmm.
The federal government, we've basically said, because we're not going to address it in the Constitution and because we're leaving it up to the states, then you could have states that say, well, we're going to deal with our own immigration. And then it becomes an absolute clusterfuck disaster because every state has their own port of entry. And then there's all these different questions. So it really does come down to the hard thing to do in the way that the Constitution is meant to be is that it's going to be difficult to make these issues. So you have to leave it up to what the current system says. And the current system says the federal government has the ability to exercise our border. And that's based off of the policies and the court's ruling so far. And if you don't like that, then you got to get those people out of office. And it's fucking that easy. It's like, you don't have to make it more difficult than that. That's just what the reality is. And that's why, like, when you sent out your tweet, I replied, a republic if you can keep it. This is what it's like to have a republic, man. You ain't going to get what you want all the time, and it's not going to be easy. And you're going to have to actually do some difficult stuff, but that's what you have to do because the system is set up that way.
Yep. Wise man.
I also want to say this too. The people that are out there that think that secession is likely, you have to read about the Civil War and about the letter that Ulysses S. Grant wrote, about the court cases that went on during that time Supreme Court. If a state secedes, the federal government will send in troops. Like, it's like, listen, you have a debt. We are part of this, the system that says that all of these states were set up and that there was a lot of blood and treasure that was spilt and that there's a debt that's owed. And so the government's going to be like, we're going to come to collect that debt. And so you can secede, but good luck, man. It's going to be,
collect that debt?
Yeah, it's going to be bloody and nasty. And I don't think people are wanting for that. So instead I say, listen, man, it's going to be a clusterfuck. And the only way we can unfuck it is we got to get Trump in there, man. And if not, then yeah, dude, we're fucking toast as a country. And you just stay low, stay in your local community, because at the end of the day, if you and your partners in the neighborhoods that you live in are, handling and protecting business because everything else breaks down, that's just the way it's going to be, man.
Yeah.
That's what I got, man.
Appreciate you, man. We got to get to Jonah. Jonah about to come with the galaxy.
Yeah. All right, man. Hotep and build.
Oh shit, I forgot my Ohio people's in here too. Jonah call in. Ohio peeps call in. Let me make sure I hit all these because some of them were unread, and that's why I was getting confused. All right, where we at? Come back to the chat. What did the chat is saying? Shout out to Jabari, $5 super chat. You know, man, hit the like button. Likes are very much appreciated. Thank God there isn't a movie called Civil War coming out this spring with predictive programming about Texas seceding. Yeah. Robert Jones said, I thought the community loved you. Don't tweet that. I had to modify it. I modified it. I didn't want to be gruesome and inhumane.
Call from
Jonah, what you got for us, man? Is this the Hittites in Babylonia?
No. Well, yeah, it's all the same fuckers, but so We'll start with it's an invasion. There's no way around it. But I mean,
oh boy, here we
I don't
go.
hold it again.
What do I got to put on my screen? What do I have to put on my screen? What you got?
Because I'm pulling old dictionaries, not the ones that are written today by these fucking scumbags who are orchestrating this shit.
Okay.
But the old dictionaries, it's actually fucking my computer up. So I have it here in front of me here, right? So invasion is a generic term denoting a forcible entrance into a foreign country. End. That's 1860 American
read it again.
Dictionary. Invasion is the generic term denoting a forcible entrance into a foreign country. End. Then it goes into incursion.
Continue.
So that's the whole thing. Anyways, again too, which is really funny because people talk about like, I'll tell you why you'll never ever again. My computer's freezing up, so I can't get to it. So I just try to pull old dictionaries or old books. But in the DMs, you'll see that I dropped
I'm pulling it right now.
Of why you'll never see it an actual impeachment.
Hold on, I'm pulling it up right now.
Yeah. Like I said, my computer's freezing. When you pull these old texts from the Library of Congress, it freezes up every time. I don't know why.
Hold on.
The top one of the two.
My bad. I had to text Sonny Johnson. I just saw that she sent me.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
All right, so check this out. We got it on screen now. Hold on, let me pull this up for the people. It's going to be a little janky, but you got to work with us. We're trying our best. Treason and rebellion also, because they are altogether political offenses, cannot be inquired into by a lodge. And although a Mason may be convicted of either of these acts in the courts of his country, he cannot be Masonically punished. And notwithstanding his treason or rebellion, his relation to the... Oh, man. Oh, Jonah, here you go.
And that is by Albert W. Mackey.
The doctrine is explicitly set forth in the old charges approved in 1722, Chapter 2. The wisdom of this regulation will be apparent when we consider that if treason and rebellion were Masonic crimes, almost every Mason in the United... Oh, I got... Whoa. I got to read this again. Hold on a second, Jonah. What the fuck is this bomb you just dropped on me just now? Hold on a second.
Hey, how do you think they got Albert Pike off?
Hold on, man. Hold on. Don't hit us with too much. Hold on. It says, the wisdom of this regulation will be apparent when we consider that if treason and rebellion were Masonic crimes, almost every Mason in the United Colonies in 1776 would have been subject to expulsion, and every lodge to a forfeiture of its warrant by the Grand Lodges of England and Scotland, under whose jurisdiction they were at the time. Damn.
Yeah. And now that is how they got Albert Pike off. That is how they got the 14th Amendment through. Because, like I've said before, the Masons did not create this country or your country. They stole it through Abraham Lincoln. And if they created the USA, there was no need for the War of 1812. There was no need for the Civil War. They stole it, and then they printed textbooks to tell you otherwise, just like they printed
Who did they steal it from?
Tell you invasion includes an army.
Who did they steal it from? The original occupants, like the people who first came over, the Puritans and all that, who settled? Are you saying they stole it from them?
Well, I would say it would be like more of a union of the Puritans and all the different organizations that ran from those fucking scumbags in Rome that are Hittites. So you brought me back to them.
I see what you're saying. I see. So the Pilgrims came, they set up shop, and then the Masons came over and stole. Yeah.
Oh, dude, like, think about it this way too, right? So then you had the National Bank or whatever through Hamilton. Then you had the second national banks, and then that's Andrew Jackson and all that shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does any of that sound like it was Mason run?
Yeah.
So no, the country was created by people who were not Masons, a bunch of fucking scumbags who were into their children, decided to. They ended up taking the country through the Abraham Lincoln, the communist, who was a pen pal of Karl Marx. And then they rewrote textbooks, and people read these same textbooks. You know, you can't even trust the ones from the Rockefellers, let alone the ones from 100 years ago. But you know, like once that happened, but
yeah.
You know, the best we could do is get the closest to the source, and you know, get multiple sources, and then piece together what seems real from all the different sources together.
Mm-hmm.
But it is also an invasion because at the end of the day, correct me if I'm wrong, the Zoot Suit riots during World War II were Mexican illegals and the armed forces, the Navy. Seems like it might have been a bit of an issue. You know, Cheech and Chong and Ice Dreams or whatever, fuck, they had it. Cheech himself had Born in East LA. Like, how many fucking people have to be murdered and trafficked under the name of American citizens before they actually say they both are, you know, again, to the communists, they give you the false dialectic to just say, hey, listen, stop trafficking children in our names. And that's what, like, again, dude, like, there's like, you cannot say that this issue has been going on for 100 years and there's any intention to resolve it.
Yeah.
But again, too, it's like, you know, he likes to bring up Moloch. So it's like these worshippers of Moloch. Like, just think of what they've done to the moral character or fiber of people who, since 1970, so 50 years. Like, in 50 years, the number one topic for debate is the murder of fetuses. Fuck, Moloch is being fed well.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely being fed well. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, so, and it's, you know, again, too, these same people, they don't believe in treason because they don't swear allegiance to the country. They swear allegiance to the lodge. And then they try to have arguments with you about the definition of words.
Yep. Yeah.
So, and it's not just the lodges too, right? Because they also have all their other fucking secret societies too, right? So, but again, too,
Rudy
that's
said,
another topic, another day.
Rudy said, "Free Jonah, invade Canada." We're gonna free Jonah one day when Hotepistan is erected. Pause. We're going to get Jonah.
Well, I mean, he is on his like.
Jonah's going to be in charge of conspiracies in Hotepistan.
Justine is on his sixth ethics violation, I think.
Yeah.
He's just got, man, this is his third vacation one alone. Like, what the fuck? Again, that's a joke. Do you know what it is?
Hashtag free Jonah in the chat. Hashtag free Jonah in the chat, please.
Do you know what the penalty is for an ethics violation here in Canada if you're like prime minister or something?
What?
$500 fine.
Really?
$500 fine.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
But you know, you keep everything else. So like, Trudeau just got another $10,000 vacation completely paid for, and he'll pay $500 because it's the third violation on him.
All right, man. Let me get to the next caller, man.
Yeah, Hotep Bills.
All right, yo, Hotep Bill. Ohio Tep calling. Ohio Tep calling. Where is he? I lost him somewhere in here. No. Yeah, there we go. Let me get my Ohio peoples in here. Looks like we just converted another member on menoforder.com. Shout out to the new members of menoforder.com. Appreciate you. All right, let's go back. I'm just. All right. Joe Music said, Hotep, I think you got a hit TV show in your hands. Maybe the plot for Squid Game season 3. Definitely a hit though. Hunger Games / illegal games. Yeah. Absolutely. Where is that now? Let me find that. I gotta get off this Jonah. Man, Jonah dropped a bomb on us with that one, man. He got that Freemason shit on lock. Let's go here. Let's pull up the Squid Games thread. There's some funny responses in this Squid Games thread here. Take a look at them. Wendy said, "Where's your handler?" Taylor said, "Which one? This would be an unfortunate way to learn that." Shout out to Taylor, my other handler. Somebody said, "Only if it was televised." I said, "We got to stream it on Mr. Beast channel." The Squid Games for illegal immigrants got to be streamed on Mr. Beast channel. No, we do not want to turn people into slaves. We have to stop that. No, we are not holding people. We want to get rid of them. That's the difference. You know, the issue in the past was people imported people and then turned them into slaves. What we want to do is deport people. We do not want more people here. Somebody said pay-per-view. Only if it's pay-per-view so we can afford to send them back. I agree. This is definitely going to be a pay-per-view event. You're going to have to throw in your money to watch the Squid Games. And then all proceeds will go. This person says, only with this crew. I might have to add this image here of Virgin Atlantic to support what I was saying before. This isn't about race. This is clearly about gender ideology. This person says, they posted this meme. It says, have illegal immigrants hunt down sex offenders for a chance at citizenship. We can call it aliens versus predators. That's great. That's hilarious. That's very, very clever. I'm sure this came from 4chan. This guy wants to send the people to China. No, I don't think we should send them to China. Somebody said cooler jumpsuits. He said the game should be conducted at the border before getting across. It's called the normal legal immigration process. Also true. Somebody said it's already Squid Games every day at the border. Yeah. Yeah. Shut up and take my money, says this person. Winner replaces a communist. Yo, facts. I like that idea. Yeah, for every winner, we swap them with a communist and we send the communist across the border. I'm with that. Let's communists make a better America. Yeah, it's old meme. Yeah, old meme, still very classic. Yeah, very classic. Okay, this again, HJ. You need to look at Branson as a person. Who is Branson? I don't know who that is. Royal Rumble winner gets a passport. Gold 76 says Sister Otis for Congress. He's like an hour behind this stream, but it's okay. Hopefully they get caught up. Mad Max Thunderdome. You guys like how Brett Ratner was really a memory hold? Yeah, I don't know about that. I'm out of here. Lines are closed. Tonight is Hotep. Today's Thursday, right? Yeah, it's Hotep Thursday. Got to do the Trump dance on that one. It's Hotep Thursday. We are back live tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Time with America's favorite black conservative, Uncle Hotep, the first black man to ever wear a MAGA hat. We're live 8 p.m. tonight. Make sure y'all tune in. Be well, be merry. Tell somebody in your family that you love them. And I'll see you tonight. Hotep and Bill.
Yeah, I can try to get that handled for you. Again, it's only my second day, so if you can give me a second. How am I supposed to do this? How the hell are we supposed to do this by 5 o'clock?
I have no clue.
Is that possible? Hey, do you have the password to... How'd you finish all your work already?
He's not tapped in. How'd you get that done so quick?
They think they're gonna be able to budget that?
It's money. That's money right there. You understand? You guys finished your work 6 hours early?
He's not tapped in.